Hello, this is Travis Hubbard. I make these billiard ball lanyards. Some of you on Facebook have seen them, shown some interest in how they're tied, how they're made, so I thought I could do maybe a few short videos, give you guys some tips on how I do it, and then maybe you can make your own. These are available for sale now at theparacord.com. Kevin Gagney's been a tremendous help to get these out there. They're pretty cool. I must say, all the numbers still working through some of the patterns. This one here is called the Grave Digger. Monsters color or matches the color of the monster truck, and I know it's not real masculine, but I think this tie is probably my favorite one. I just like the way the colors go together. Everything about it, the colors match the ball real well. But this is the standard tie I use around the ball. This is a herringbone weave pattern. You tie the standard, the green cord is what makes up the base, a 6-bite, 5-lead Turk's head knot, and then the purple, you can see the bites are on the inside. Gives it that cool kind of diamond pattern around the ball, I think, which really pictures the number well. And then the herringbone is wove in between, which I'll show you how to make the 6-bite, 5-lead Turk's head, and then we'll do the herringbone interweave. I do tie mine on a mandrel. I've tried to tie these directly on the ball before with very little luck. It's very tough. Even if you get it, I don't think you get quite the uniform look. I think it's just much easier to be consistent with the mandrel, and then move the tie onto the ball. Here's another one I make. Slightly different pattern, the same concept though, but this is a gaucho fan knot. Still tied on the same 6-bite, 5-lead base, and then the gaucho fan knot is interwoven, which on this one the bites are in the same place. As you can see, you end up with 12 bites on the ball, which this one I call the Legend. To me it kind of looks like a race car tire. I think it's a really cool tie. I like the colors. I like the way it looks. I'm not sure the gaucho fan knot for me. I think I liked the picture frame of the herringbone a little bit better. But either way, you can play around with different ties and designs and different ways to put it on the ball. The other thing I wanted to walk through is, well, this is the one I'm going to try to work on, the 10 ball. So I got some blue and black cord. I think these colors will go pretty well on the ball. Don't have a name for it yet, but it's black and blue, so I was thinking we'd call this one the Bruiser. There's also, so what I started with were balls this size that came in a kid's play set. These are 1 3/4 diameter balls. They're a good size to tie on. I like them a lot. I've tried to find these everywhere, virtually impossible. If you find miniature pool balls, they're typically 1.5 inches, which I ordered, and they're just small enough, more so than this. I think that's the one size a lot of people said they have, are the 1.5 inches. I've not tried to tie on those. You might have to downsize your Turk's head and your herringbone pattern, maybe a 5-bite or something with less leads, so you picture the number better. I think if you tied this pattern on this ball, or on an 1.5 inch ball, you might end up barely showing the number. I'm not sure how it would turn out. You can try it. Anyhow, I moved to, which I like better, are a 2-inch ball. These are readily available. It's a good size. It's bigger. As you can see, it's heavier. I think the tie works better on it. Shows more of the ball, the face of it. The tie itself still grips the ball plenty good. I have tied on a full-size ball before, which is this size. As you can see, stepping from, 1 3/4 to 2 inch, which I tie on, to a standard size ball, which are typically 2 1/4 inch. The size just, it looks so much bigger, but really they're not that bad. I have tied on this size before with the same pattern on a 2 1/4 inch standard size ball, and I think if I did it again, I would upsize my pattern just a little. It ends up a little bit narrow on the ball. I think it shows too much of it off when you want to kind of just picture frame it like that 4 ball. Anyhow, we can get started. So what I do to start the tie is I have 2 18-foot cords, 2 different colors. I'll probably start with the black. I think it's easier to interweave a lighter color into a black pattern than to try to put a black into a lighter color, at least for me anyway. It's easier for me to follow. What I typically do is find the center of the tie. So take the two ends, put them together, find the middle. And then the tie itself, when you double it around this particular tie, it's about 5 feet of cord. So I usually just guesstimate back what I think is about 2.5 feet. Just tie a little simple knot to show you where you want to start. Not too long legs to work with, but they do get a little bit cumbersome. I always put the fit on first. I always prep the ends, get them all ready to go, because every end you use in this tie is going to end up with a needle on it at some point. These fits here are stainless steel versions I got from the paracordist before I even knew Kevin. I ordered these probably well over a year ago. I can't tell you how many times I've used them. They hold good, easy to screw right in there. They're good length, strong. I can bend them a little, put a lot of pressure on them, but not really. And they're very reasonably priced. For what I paid for them and the use I got on them, it's good money invested. You could take the opposite end that you're not using. What I typically do is just stick it down my mandrel so it's kind of out of the way. Get it to where you want to start. Take a small piece of tape just to kind of hold it in place till you get a few passes made, and then it will hold itself. And then we start with the tie. So I always start on I put my numbers on the bottom. I don't know why, but I like them down here. So you can see this is a mandrel I made. It has 12 holes around it all the way. So you can see up here, if I want to do a pattern with 4 bites, just change the numbering, then I can use those. Down here I have 6. Then I have another row here if I want to go wider, or I want to use this spacing. So it works out. This is a 2-inch mandrel, which is, you know, the same size as the pool ball. I got these spaced out about 1.5 inches right now. So when you take the pattern off and put it on the ball, it's not so tight you're trying to fight it to get it on, but it's not so loose that you're spending a lot of time trying to tighten it on the ball, because if you tightening on the ball is a tough process to get it centered and looking uniform around. So this seems to be a perfect size to slip on the ball. Doesn't need a lot of tightening, but it's not so hard to get on. So as far as the base tie, we start at pin 1, go to pin number 3, all the way around to pin number 6, go to pin number 2. We're going to go under the original cord here. And once you get going, it's pretty straightforward. Obviously, you can follow a book tie or what, but the pattern itself is Turk's head knots are pretty simple. Once you get the base, first couple runs done, the number of pins just kind of fall in order. So, you know, we started out, we came down to 3. This time we came down to 2. Next time we'll come down to 1. Same thing up here. We started out going over to 6. This time we go over to 5. So the numbers are working backwards. Again, we go under. This time we come to 1. Go under, over. So you go under that cord, over the next cord. Whatever you do on the bottom, so if the bottom goes under, over, when you get to the top will repeat. Pretty straightforward with any Turk's head. This time we come up to, we're on pin 5, so pin 4. Same thing. We go under, over, just like we did on the bottom. See how we're working backwards? Now we're on 6. This time we should go under, over, under. You want to make sure too you're keeping your cord straight while you do this. If you get twists or rolls in it, it will show up in the final pattern, and you don't want that. You want it to lay flat on the ball. So just pay attention to that. It will twist on you, especially as you start adding more cord in here. It gets tighter and tighter, and the cord will tend to want to roll. So we went to 3 last time. This time we go to 2. Same as the bottom. We go under, over, under. Last time we went to 6. This time we go to 5. This time we go under, over, under, over. As you can see, this tie doesn't take long for the base. On the 5 pin there, this should be on 1, so this goes over. So now we're on to 2 at the top. Same thing as you did on the bottom, under, over, under, over. See how it twists the cord? That gets it when you come around, like that. Lays nice and flat. Now we're on our last pin, pin 4. This time we'll go under, over, and we should end up right back where we started. See how it twists up? It's got to really pay attention. Make sure when you get it to the pin where you're going to secure it, that it sets itself. Now we're back there. That's it. Right there's the base. 6 bites, 5 leads. Just a simple Turk head to start. I'm going to go ahead and double this. That's what I like to do, is double the initial one before I start the herringbone interweave. Then it's done. I'm not dealing with so many long ends all at once. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and we'll work on the herringbone weave. Thank you.